Hello everyone, welcome to EduTap. We know that if you are preparing for any competitive exam including IRDAI grade A, previous year papers play a very important role. They help us to understand trend, pattern, difficulty level with respect to the examination. So as a part of this video, we are going to discuss insurance and management solved paper for the year 2023. We will see that what type of questions were asked, what was the difficulty level, what is the content that you could have written as a part of the answer, right? So all these things we are going to see one by one as a part of this video. Apart from that, just a small announcement. Basically, these Navratri offers are going on a website where you can save up to 85% off, and if you're preparing for regulatory bodies examination, then you can get this flat 75% discount, right? And in order to avail this discount, you can use this coupon code which is festival 75. And please remember that this offer is valid from 26th of September till 28th of September only. I hope it is clear to you. Now coming back to the video, let us discuss these PYQs. So firstly, we are going to discuss the insurance component, and afterwards we will see the management component. So when we talk about insurance components, these are the type of questions that were asked. Firstly, the impact of business cycle on insurance. Then this data interpretation based question was there. Then this comprehension passage and question number 5 and 6 that were from the, I would say, directly from the syllabus only. So let us first see this question number 1. Now regarding question number 1, first of all, I want to tell you that if you see this question, impact of business cycle on insurance, you won't be able to find this question as a part of your syllabus if you see your syllabus of insurance and management, which is nothing but your paper 3, right? Why is it so? Because I would say there is an unusual trend as far as this IRDAI grade A exam is concerned. And as a part of this trend, what they do, sometimes they ask paper 2 questions in paper 3, and sometimes they will ask paper 3 questions in paper 2, and this is something that has happened with this question also. If you see business cycle on insurance, the impact of this, right, you will find this as a part of your paper 2 syllabus, which is ESI impacting insurance. It is not there in paper 3, right? So you have to be mentally prepared. Such type of things can be repeated in future also, and they have done it in 2024 also, right? In 2024 also they have done it. They did it in 2023 also, and the same trend can be repeated in 2025 also. So you have to be mentally prepared. That is the intention behind this information, right? So the question is impact of business cycle on insurance. So you can see this is just a 7.5 marker question, and as you know that a very limited space is provided as a part of your answer sheet where you will have to write the answer. So you have to be as precise as possible. In such type of question, you have to be as precise as possible. Do not beat around the bush. Do not try to give the background of that certain concept. Just write whatever has been asked, right? So firstly, you can talk about that what is business cycle. So it is nothing but the fluctuation of GDP, right? You can talk about that. Basically business cycle means natural up and downs with respect to economic activity, right, over a period of time. So you can talk about that. Now we know that as a part of business cycle there are different phases. For example, there is period of expansion, and which is nothing but the boom period, right? And then there is this period of contraction also, right? So basically in the period of expansion, what is going to happen? The country is performing very well. The economic activity in the country are performing very well. So based on that, basically what is the impact on the insurance sector? That is something that has been asked as a part of this question. You have to talk about the expansionary phase also. You have to talk about this contractionary phase also. Now in case of I would say expansionary phase, what happens during this? The economic growth of a certain country is performing good, right? It is going high. So what is going to be the impact on the insurance sector? Of course, the demand with respect to insurance is going to get increased, right? Why it is going to get increased? Because businesses are witnessing profit, individuals are receiving good income. So what they're going to do with the extra income, what they're going to do, they are going to use their income in order to purchase different insurance products, right? So that can be the first impact. Apart from that, since the economy is performing well, we know that whatever money that the insurers collect from the policy holders, what they do with that money, they basically invest it in different type of assets, right? So that they can generate profit through that premium. So what they are going to do, they are going to invest it in equity, they are going to invest it in bonds, different type of instruments. But since economy is performing very well, so what is going to happen? Whatever money they have invested, they are going to get good returns with respect to that, which will increase the profitability of these insurance companies, right? So this is I would say just a sample that I'm discussing. So this type of answer you should have written as a part of your examination. So firstly you can talk about the expansionary period, and just the opposite of that you can write over here in case of contractionary period also. For example, in case of contractionary period, basically the economy is performing not well, right? So if there are health based concerns, all such sort of things are there. So what is going to happen? There's a high probability that the number of claims with respect to the insurance company, they are going to get increased, right? So that is going to increase the burden on the insurance companies. Apart from that, the returns will be lower. So also sort of, I would say, opposite things that we have discussed in case of expansionary. So this way you could have written the answer. You can divide these phases into different sub phases also. For example, you can talk about trough phase also, which is linked to this contractionary phase only, the lowest point as a part of the economic activity, right? So you can talk about that also. You can talk about depression. So this is also one format through which you can write the answer, and I have discussed another format also. Just by explaining contractionary, expansionary, and just writing the impact, that would also be sufficient, right? So this is how you could have written your answer, and at the end you can just write a one-liner conclusion. Why one-liner? Because the question is of 7 and 5 marks only, and you cannot afford to write lengthy conclusion and lengthy introductions, right? You have to be precise, you have to write to the point. I hope it is clear to you. Now the next question, which is regarding comprehension passage, right? So over here they have basically provided you this conversation between person A and person B, and based on this they are asking you the question. And over here, let me tell you that they are testing your knowledge regarding types of insurance. So types of insurance is something that is straightforwardly mentioned as a part of his syllabus, right? And if you have seen 2024 PYQ video also, so over there I have told you the significance of syllabus, that how most of the questions, I would say in the insurance, all the questions were directly from the syllabus only, not just most, I would say all the questions. And over here also, up till now, whatever questions we have discussed, even if it is about, I would say, this impact of business cycle on insurance, so that was, though that paper question is from ESI impacting insurance paper, but still it has been mentioned precisely in the syllabus. And you can see this question also, this question is asking about types of insurance, right? So this is also something that is asked, that is there as a part of a syllabus. So syllabus carries the utmost value. You need to cover syllabus in a very comprehensive manner. So you can see it over here, what type of insurance person A is talking about. So if you just read these slides, so person A is saying that I have been looking into different policies lately because I want to ensure my family is financially secure if something unexpected happens to me. So this is something, I would say, this is the crux of what insurance option that he is looking for. The plan I'm considering promises a payout to my family in case of my death, which may help cover living expenses and debt. So if you have covered types of insurance, you can easily conclude that this is a type of nothing but life insurance, right? And if you read person B's conversation, what he's saying, that sounds like a crucial safety net. I have been focusing on a different type of plan, something that covers mishaps. For instance, if I were to get injured in an accident and couldn't work, this policy could help cover my medical bills and even provide some income replacement during my recovery. So what type of insurance it is going to be? It is going to be accidental insurance. This is going to be accidental insurance. So if you read the question now, question number 1 is asking about person A only, which is about, I would say, life insurance. And if you see part B of this question, over here what you can see, that it is asking you to compare the insurance type that has been discussed by person A and person B. So basically you have to compare life insurance and accidental insurance only, right? So this is something that you have to do, and as I told you, this is straightforwardly asked from the syllabus only, so you should be in a position to answer this question. The next is discuss the role of insurance in mobilizing, saving and facilitating फाइनेंशियल इंटरमीडिएशन. ये बहुत ही स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड है, मैं इसको इजी क्वेश्चन ट्रीट करूंगा. ठीक है, क्यों मैं इसको इजी मानूंगा? क्योंकि डायरेक्टली सिलेबस से पूछा गया है. इफ यू हैव एवर सीन द सिलेबस, यू मस्ट हैव सीन दिस कीवर्ड्स वेयर दे हैव मेंशन्ड अबाउट इंश्योरेंस इन मोबिलाइजिंग सेविंग्स एंड फैसिलिटेटिंग इंश्योरेंस इंटरमीडिएशन. बहुत इजी क्वेश्चन है, डायरेक्टली सिलेबस में से आया है, 100 वर्ड्स के लिए पूछा गया है. ठीक है, आपसे 7.5 मार्कर है. You had to write it within, I would say, 100 words. So basically what you had to do, how much space you would be getting? You would be getting 1.5 page space. 1.5 page space आपको मिलेगी यहाँ पर. ठीक है, और you can I would say if you note the answer very precisely, you can write it. Otherwise what you will have to do, you'll have to talk about background of this question. But I can say that if somebody has covered the syllabus, he should be in a position to answer this question in a comfortable manner, right? So firstly, of course, since the question is asking about two things, so you have to divide it into two headings. Firstly, you will talk about the role of insurance in mobilizing savings, and then you will have to discuss about its role in facilitating the financial intermediation, right? So this is how you have to go about it. Firstly, you will talk about mobilizing saving, that basically how it encourages saving habits. It also helps in long term financial planning, right? And then you can talk about financial intermediation also, that how it helps in capital accumulation, then the risk management, and also with respect to the liquidity provisions, right? So this is something that you have to write as a part of your answer. I would say very easy to answer, right? Now let us move on to the last question, which is regarding, I would say, the key functions performed by insurers, focusing on product design, claim management, investment, reinsurance, including relevant examples. So please make sure that you are addressing the demand of the question. Now you have to break down the answer of this question into different parts. In the first part, you will talk about the function that is performed by insurance with respect to product design. This is going to be the heading 1. Then the heading 2 will be regarding claim management, heading 3 will be regarding the investment, and heading 4 will be regarding reinsurance, right? And apart from that, please do not miss this very important keyword, which is about examples. So you have to provide examples for these type of points, right? Whatever headings that you are writing. So firstly, you will talk about some introduction. Very precisely, you can talk about that insurers, they play critical role in the financial landscape, which include offering risk protection and performing operations functions that basically ensures their offerings meet client needs while maintaining financial stability, right? And after that, you can talk about this component. For example, you can talk about product design, right? So you know that basically insurers, they design different kinds of products. It's so that basically they can meet the diverse needs of individuals and businesses, right? So for example, they aim to balance the affordability and the risk coverage that is there. Both the things have to be balanced, and while designing a certain type of product, they put various things into consideration. For example, the age of the person, right? For example, the family of the person, right? For example, I would say medical history. For example, the coverage limit. Different type of things can be considered while designing a product, and you could have discussed those things in a very, I would say, precise manner. You don't have to over elaborate, because 100 words में लिखना है आपको, और इसके लिए आपको एग्जाम में कितना मिलेगा? एग्जाम में आपको मिलेगा 1.5 पेज लिखने के लिए। तो 1.5 पेज के अंदर आपको पूरा आंसर लिखना है, तो आप बहुत ज्यादा आपके पास लिखने का स्कोप नहीं है, तो आपको प्रिसाइज लिखना है और इंपॉर्टेंट चीजें लिखनी है। बट प्लीज डू नॉट मिस द एग्जांपल एट एनी कॉस्ट, राइट? फॉर एग्जांपल, ओवर हियर वी हैव एडेड द एग्जांपल, सो यू कुड हैव आल्सो written the same type of example. Then the next is regarding claim management. We know that insurers play very important role with respect to claim management. They have to verify the information, they have to assess the damage, they have to maintain, all the processing with respect to the insurance, so that basically the policy holder does not face any kind of difficulty with respect to filing the claims. So based on that, you have to write it. So based on that, you can write the example also. For example, after a car accident, an insurer would assess the damage that has happened. It is going to determine the coverage that is applicable, and it will ensure timely and fair payout also with respect to policy holder, right? Then the third is regarding investment. Then you can, of course, this is something that I've already explained to you, that whatever premiums they collect, after that what they do, they basically invest that money into different kind of security, into different kind of, I would say, investment options. For example, equity, for example, bond, and other type of securities, right? So whatever returns they earn, this is going to be the profit of these insurance companies. So this is going to be the function that you could have written as a part of it. Last is the reinsurance. Reinsurance is what? It is the insurance of insurers, right? It is the insurance of insurers, right? That is the insurance companies. So that basically this reinsurance facility helps them. It acts as a backup. Like, for example, basically, if some kind of disaster happens in the economy, in the country, so the number of claims are going to get high and higher, right? So in order to manage such large number of claims, what they do, they go for this reinsurance facilities, and because of the reinsurance facilities, what happens, basically, they basically get access to funds, and these funds can be used in order to pay the claims with respect to different policy holders. So that is the role of reinsurance, and this is something, I would say, some sort of these points you could have written as a part of your answer. So again, this is an easy question. अगर आप एक बार सिलेबस ओपन करके देख लेंगे, आपको वहां पे दिख जाएगा साफ साफ कि यार ये तो डायरेक्टली सिलेबस में मेंशन्ड है, ठीक है? तो ये तो मिस नहीं होना चाहिए था, एंड I would say not a difficult question to answer at all. So I hope it is clear to you. मुझे अभी तक कोई ऐसा क्वेश्चन दिखा नहीं है कि यार जो बहुत ही आउट ऑफ सिलेबस आ गया हो, राइट? तो जितने भी क्वेश्चन थे सब सिलेबस के बीच में से आए थे, सिलेबस में से पूछे गए थे, और मुझे लगता है कि जिसने सिलेबस पे अच्छी कमांड रखी है उसको इंश्योरेंस में कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं आएगी, चाहे आप ये 2023 के पेपर में देख लो या फिर आप उसे 2024 के पेपर में देख लो, दोनों में एक ही चीज है कि सिलेबस सिलेबस एंड सिलेबस, सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट रोल है सिलेबस का, राइट? सो दैट इज द क्रक्स. आई होप इट इज क्लियर टू यू. मूव ऑन टू द नेक्स्ट कंपोनेंट एज अ पार्ट ऑफ दिस पेपर, which is nothing but management. But let me tell you that basically if we talk about, there are basically two papers, right? Paper 2 and paper 3. One is ESI impacting insurance and the second is insurance management. Let me tell you that in case of ESI impacting insurance, you can get current affair questions in the examination, and they can ask questions with respect to schemes. They have asked questions with respect to, I would say, regarding different type of current affairs also that are there in the insurance sector. They can ask you questions from IRDAI annual report. But this insurance and management paper is more scoring. Why is it so? Because again, in case of insurance and also in case of management, syllabus has the utmost importance. If you have covered the syllabus, trust me, in insurance you are not going to face any problem, and in case of management also you won't face any problem, because all the questions that are there, they have been asked directly from the syllabus. Syllabus khatam तो मतलब गेम खत्म, ठीक है? उसके बाद कुछ नहीं करना है, यू जस्ट हैव टू रिवाइज इट मल्टीपल टाइम. दैट इज द अप्रोच. एंड जस्ट लुक एट द क्वेश्चंस इन केस ऑफ मैनेजमेंट आल्सो, राइट? इफ यू हैव एवर प्रिपेयर्ड फॉर एग्जाम्स लाइक RBI or maybe SEBI, right? So these type of examinations, so where we have this management component, you can easily see that basically the questions are pretty much static, right? And the same rule is in case of IRDAI examination also. You can see explain communication skills, write a short note on organizational change. Then a comprehension passage based question was asked, which was very easy to answer, right? Then the question about personal management and human resource management, right? Again, a static based question. Then I would say a graph was provided, a very easy graph, and based on that you have to write your answer. So this graph was very easy to answer, right? Even if you know basic maths or basic quants, which of course you would be knowing, then only you will be able to qualify phase 1, right? So you can easily answer this bar graph also. So that is basically the crux, is that syllabus carries the utmost importance. You cannot ignore the syllabus. That should be your topmost priority, right? And let us see the question number 1. So the question number 1 is of 10 markers. So for 10 marker means 1.5 page you would be getting to write your answer. And the question is regarding communication skills. So what you have to write, firstly you will have to explain that what do you mean by communication skill. You will define it, right? Of course, that you will write some standard definition with respect to communication skill, whatever you have studied, right? After that, you can talk about the different type of aspects with respect to communication skill. That what does it include? It includes expressive speaking. It includes persuasive communication. It includes sensitive communication also. Then the information management that is there. Then the defensive versus non-defensive communication. These are the different, I would say, aspects that are there. You should have covered, and then you could have written the answer, right? Within 1.5 page. Though I would say the explanation that you can see it over here, it looks a bit elaborative, but you don't have to over elaborate things, right, in the real examination, because you will be writing using pen and paper, right? It is not a typing based examination, so you have to manage your space. That is the point, right? So 1.5 पेज ही मिलेगा, उसी में आंसर लिखना होगा आपको. तो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है कि आप टू द पॉइंट लिखें. कोशिश ये कीजिए कि कम पॉइंट्स को ज्यादा इलेबोरेट मत करो. मैं बोलूंगा ज्यादा पॉइंट्स में बेशक आप कम इंफॉर्मेशन लिख लो. आई होप यू आर एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड दैट राइटिंग less number of points and then over elaborating them, that is not going to work. What actually works is that basically writing more number of points and then writing basically to the point, or I would say very precise explanation with respect to that. But you don't have to over explain things. That is the I would say information that I want you to know, right? So that is going to work, and this is how you could have written the answer. Then write a short note on organizational change. Again, a same type of question that is asked directly from the syllabus only, a 10 marker, write it in 100 words. So again, you have to define firstly what do you mean by organizational change, and after that what you can do, you can write the different drivers of organizational change. For example, the external factors and the internal factors that are there, these are the factors that basically impacts the organization, right, and bring different kind of changes with respect to organization. And then you can also talk about that how you can manage the organization change. The point is that basically when they have written short note, right, so when they say short note, basically the question becomes very much vague. So when the question is vague, you have too much of flexibility to write whatever you know. So if you know about something, some other aspect also, for example, let us say you don't want to write about drivers, you don't want to write about maybe managing, right, you know about the features of organizational change, that what all type of features can be there, so you can talk about that too, right? The point is that basically you have to write in such type of questions, you have too much of flexibility, and based on that basically you can write an organized answer, right? A well structured answer. So firstly you can talk about drivers, then you can talk about managing of organizational change, that the plan changes, right? Then understanding human responses, also sort of things, and then you can write a brief conclusion. So I would say again, these two questions whatever we have discussed, they were very easy because they were directly from the syllabus only. Then after that we have this comprehension passage. मैं बोलूँगा ये बहुत ही आसान पैसेज है, एप्लीकेशन बेस्ड पैसेज है, राइट? और ऐसा नहीं कि बहुत ज़्यादा एफर्ट डालने थे. अब ऑफ कोर्स क्योंकि जो क्वेश्चंस है ये हमने रिकलेक्ट किए हैं. रिकलेक्ट का मतलब है मेमोरी बेस्ड क्वेश्चंस है, क्योंकि ऑफ कोर्स जो रेगुलेटरी बॉडीज है दे डू नॉट शेयर देयर क्वेश्चन पेपर्स. सो व्हाट वी हैव डन थ्रू डिफरेंट सोर्सेज वी हैव बीन एबल टू कलेक्ट दिस इन्फॉर्मेशन दैट व्हाट टाइप ऑफ क्वेश्चंस वर आस्क्ड. तो जो क्वेश्चन अभी तक मैंने डिस्कस किए वो तो ऑफ कोर्स वो क्योंकि छोटे क्वेश्चन थे वो प्रिसाइज होंगे, बट जो कॉम्प्रिहेंशन पैसेज है वो प्रिसाइजली यहाँ पर आई वुड से रिकलेक्ट करना थोड़ा मुश्किल हो जाता है बिकॉज वो लेंदी होता है. बट द पॉइंट इज दैट जो आपको एग्जाम में जो कॉम्प्रिहेंशन पैसेज मिलेगा वो इजी रहेगा, राइट? जो अभी तक मतलब हमने 2023 में देखा हो या 2024 में देखा हो, जो कॉम्प्रिहेंशन पैसेज का लेवल है वो ज़्यादा मुश्किल नहीं था. तो कहने का मतलब ये कि अगर आपने सिलेबस पढ़ा है एंड अगर आपकी इंटरप्रिटेशन स्किल्स अच्छी है कॉम्प्रिहेंशन पैसेज को लेकर, तो आप उसे सॉल्व कर लोगे. कोई ऐसे बड़ी प्रॉब्लम नहीं आएगी, मेजर प्रॉब्लम नहीं आएगी उसमें, राइट? सो दैट इज व्हाट I wanted to convey. So based on that basically you can see that identify the key communication barriers faced by XYZ group. So you can read the passage, based on that you can identify the barriers, and based on that you can write the answer. Then what strategy could XYZ implement to overcome the communication challenges? तो यही जो barriers है इसको कैसे overcome करें. अब आप ऐसे में जा सकते हो, वहां पर you can identify the keywords that have been mentioned and you can sprinkle it over there as a part of your answer, right? Then how would addressing communication barriers could impact employee morale and productivity? Then you can talk about that too based on the passage. So I would say very easy question, and you can see the theme of the passage is related to your syllabus only, so you won't be facing any kind of difficulty with respect to these type of questions. Then the next is differentiate between personal management and human resource development, right? तो यहाँ पर आप क्वेश्चन को दो तरीके से अटेम्प्ट कर सकते हो. या तो आपको टेबल बना दो ऐसे, यहाँ पर पर्सनल मैनेजमेंट लिख दो, यहाँ पर HRM लिख दो, और ये आप लिख भी सकते हो क्योंकि ये जो पोर्शन है वो सिलेबस में बहुत प्रिसाइजली मेंशन्ड है और ये दोनों टर्म्स बहुत इंटर रिलेटेड है, राइट? तो अगर आप कोई भी सोर्स पढ़ रहे हो तो वहां पर आपको इस तरह से टेबल मिल जाएगा. अगर आपको टेबल याद है आप वो लिख दो, वो नहीं आता अगर आप नहीं लिख पा रहे हो पॉइंट्स जो कि इक्वली दोनों का डिफरेंस दिखाएं, तो फिर आप पैराग्राफ फॉर्मेट में लिख दो, या फिर इस तरह पॉइंट्स बना के लिख सकते हो दैट व्हाट डू यू मीन बाय पर्सनल मैनेजमेंट. You can add different type of dimension with respect to that, and then you can talk about HRM also, right? And you can compare both of them. Then what do they mean? Now I'm not here to explain you. The point is basically to let you know that how you could have structured your answer. Either you can draw it with the help of table, and or you can write it in the form of paragraph if you don't know the complete answer. अब अगर आंसर पूरा अच्छे से आता ही नहीं है तो अगर आप ऐसे लिखने लग जाओगे तो ऑफ कोर्स आपकी वीकनेस एक्सपोज हो जाएगी एग्जामिनर के सामने. तो जब कम आंसर आए तो आप पैराग्राफ में उसको लिख सकते हो ताकि वो पढ़ने में थोड़ा ऐसा लगे कि इट इज मेकिंग सेंस, राइट? बट हाँ, अगर आपको अच्छे से आता है, इफ यू आर प्रिपेयर्ड वेल, देन ट्राई टू, आई वुड से, implement the best version of that answer, and the best version is basically this table format. ठीक है, टेबल फॉर्मेट बेस्ट वर्जन होता है, टाइम भी बच जाता है, आपका स्पेस भी बच जाती है, और आई वुड से आंसर भी टू द पॉइंट डिलीवर हो जाता है, राइट? और यू कैन राइट दिस पॉइंट वाइज फॉर्मेट ऑल्सो. व्हाट यू कैन डू इफ यू आर राइटिंग दिस पॉइंट नंबर 1, सिंस द क्वेश्चन इज अबाउट कंपैरिजन, सो दिस पॉइंट नंबर 1 of this one should be opposite of this. Then point number 2, these two should be opposite. Then point number 3, these two should be opposite, right? So this is how you could have attempted this question. Now the next question is regarding bar graph, which is also very easy to answer. Basically they have provided you these different departments, for example engineering, then sales, then customer support and research. So regarding engineering, I would say this blue bar, this basically represents the turnover rate percentage, and this orange bar, this represents the selection ratio. So the question number 1 is, given that 1000 candidates applied to the research department this year, use the selection ratio provided in the graph to calculate how many candidates were selected, right? So of course basically if 1000 candidates they applied, so if we see this research, so over here you can see it is selection ratio is 40%, right? So 40% I would say of 1000 is going to be 400. So basically 400 is the number of candidates that were likely selected, right? Then the next is, additionally, based on the selection ratio across department, identify which department offers the lowest probability of selection. So lowest probability of selection is going to be with which one? It is going to be the one which has the lowest selection ratio. So it is going to be with 25%, that is the sales. So sales is going to be the answer with respect to this question. So the first is going to be 400 and the second is going to be the sales department. Now the next is the graph shows variation in employee departure across department. Identify the department with the highest departure and propose strategies that managers could implement to enhance employee retention. So the department which has the highest turnover rate, it is going to have highest departure. So in this case it is going to be 20%, that is sale. So sale department is going to be the answer. Now what strategies that you can go for example, you can go for, I would say, the reward and punishment thing, right, with which you can retain the employees, and at the same time you can maintain the productivity also. If they are performing well, you can reward them, right? If they're not performing well, you can, I would say, punish them, not harshly, but a bit of punishment can be there, so that basically the productivity and accountability can also be maintained, right? So I would say the reward can be a good way. Apart from that, the recognition, apart from that, you can create a supportive work environment as a part of the organization. Then basically you can bring this feedback mechanism also, right? So if they're performing well, the feedback can be collected and the feedback can be shared with the other team members. That is going to act as a, I would say, motivation for them. So that's how basically through different mechanisms you can bring job satisfaction and you can improve the retention rate, right? So of course, if you have studied this syllabus, again from the syllabus you must have covered human resource development, right? Human resource management is also there, the development is also there as a part of your syllabus. So this comes under that topic, and you could have been in a comfortable position to answer this question. So again, I would say a easy one. So now the next question, the last question, which is the comprehension passage based question. So basically, again, I'm not going to read this question for you because this was not the exact question that was asked in the examination, because basically these are memory based questions, right, that we have recollected. But the point is that जो एग्जाम में भी क्वेश्चन पूछा था वो ऑलमोस्ट सेम लेवल का ही था, मुश्किल क्वेश्चन वो बिल्कुल नहीं था. तो अगर आप पैसेज को पढ़ोगे उसी के बेसिस पे आपको नीचे क्वेश्चन मिलेगा, राइट? एंड ऑफ कोर्स जो क्वेश्चन होगा वो मैनेजमेंट के सिलेबस से रिलेटेड ही होगा. तो ऑफ कोर्स जो अगर आप बेसिस ऑफ मैनेजमेंट पढ़ोगे वहां पर स्टाफिंग के बारे में पढ़ोगे, राइट? सो एज अ पार्ट ऑफ दैट you will be having the understanding that what you are supposed to write as a part of this answer, right? So this is something that you can do. Okay, so now if it summarize the important learnings that you can take from this paper, the first and the foremost learning is that please do not compromise with the syllabus. Whatever keywords that have been mentioned as a part of the syllabus, you have to make sure that you are covering each and every keyword. Do not ignore the keywords. हर कीवर्ड पे आपकी अच्छी कमांड होनी चाहिए. मैं तो कहूँगा कि एक एक पेज के नोट्स बना लो सब पे, ठीक है? शॉर्ट नोट्स बना लो और उन नोट्स को n नंबर ऑफ टाइम्स रिवाइज करना, ठीक है? रिवाइज इट n नंबर ऑफ टाइम्स सो दैट यू गेट अ गुड कमांड ओवर दिस कंपोनेंट. बिकॉज यहाँ पर सबसे अच्छी बात ये है कि कोई भी आउट ऑफ द बॉक्स क्वेश्चन तो अभी तक दिखा नहीं हमें, ठीक है? और अगर आ भी गया मान लो आउट ऑफ बॉक्स क्वेश्चन, तो अगर आपने इसकी सॉलिड प्रिपरेशन की है, सिलेबस पे अच्छी कमांड है, तो इसको आप अच्छे से टैकल कर पाओगे. सो दैट इज द पॉइंट. सो प्लीज हैव अ गुड कमांड ओवर द सिलेबस. द सेकंड थिंग इज दैट प्लीज राइट टू द पॉइंट आंसर्स. डू नॉट ट्राई टू ओवर इलैबोरेट. यहाँ वहां की कहानी मत लिखो. ऐसा मत सोचो कि लंबा लिखूंगा तो ज्यादा मार्क्स मिलेंगे. नहीं, उससे क्या होगा, आपका पेपर छूट जाएगा, राइट? क्योंकि इस एग्जाम में टाइम की बहुत वैल्यू है, राइट? जो क्वेश्चंस आते हैं वो बहुत ही डाइवर्स तरह के क्वेश्चन होते हैं. कोई 300 मार्क्स का आएगा, कोई 100 मार्क्स का आएगा, सॉरी कोई 300 वर्ड्स का आएगा, कोई 100 वर्ड्स का आएगा, कोई 80 वर्ड्स का आएगा. तो डाइवर्सिटी ऑफ क्वेश्चन बहुत ज्यादा है. तो आपको ये दिमाग में रखना है एंड टू द पॉइंट आंसर लिखना है, ज्यादा एक्सप्लेन नहीं करना है. थर्ड थिंग इज दैट प्लीज डू नॉट राइट जनरल आंसर्स. ट्राई टू एड वैल्यू टू योर आंसर थ्रू एग्जाम्पल्स, थ्रू डेटा एंड थ्रू डिफरेंट टाइप ऑफ फैक्ट्स. अब डेटा का सबसे अच्छा सोर्स क्या हो सकता है? डेटा एग्जाम्पल का सबसे अच्छा सोर्स है IRDAI एनुअल रिपोर्ट. वहां पर आपको सबको ऑथेंटिक डेटा मिलेगा, डाइवर्स तरह का डेटा मिलेगा, जो आप अपने नोट्स में ऐड कर लो, राइट? एंड बेसिकली यू कैन रिवाइज इट मल्टीपल टाइम्स एंड यू कैन गेट गुड कमांड ओवर इट, एंड इवेंचुअली यू विल सी दैट बेसिकली you will be able to write better answers along with this value addition. So that is the idea. I hope it is clear to you. Now before I end the session, let me also tell you that how EduTap can help you as a part of your preparation. So what you have to do, you just have to go to a website which is edutap.in, and you can go to this courses section which is IRDAI courses, right? And over there what you can do, over there by opening this IRDAI courses, you can see we provide two types of courses. The first is gold and the second is silver. As a part of gold course, we will provide you live class, the recorded class, the tests are going to be there, PYQs are going to be there with respect to both phase 1 and phase 2. For silver course, we will provide you content for phase 2 only if you are already comfortable with phase 1, right? And this is the validity, this is the price, and this is the coupon code which is Festival 75. If you have any doubt, any query, you can write it in the comment box. Thank you so much and all the best for your preparation.